Max, this was your first trip to Africa, and you probably wanted to come for a long time, but just never got around to it. Tell me what was the most surprising to you about what the reality of Africa was, what you saw this week versus what you expected?
Yeah, and I think the answer to that is almost contrasting because on one hand, I don't think I expected to see such unending poverty, unrelenting poverty. The other thing that surprised me is just the sweet and happy spirit among the Ethiopian people. I mean, their smiles, I see more smiles here than anywhere I've ever been. And such gentle, thankful people. Hello. I want you to meet Waseni, one of the most remarkable women that you will ever meet. This was her house in which she was raising her children. She was a widow. And there was a time in which this little house was the only protection she could give her children. And the rain and the wind would fall in on them and they had no protection. And she was so despondent as a mother, as a widow, she was so despondent that at one time she asked God to take her life. But what she had going for her, what her family had going for her, was a child sponsor. And this child sponsor stayed in touch with the children and learned that there were more children and committed to them as well. And then when the child sponsor saw a picture of the house in which Waseni was raising her children, she said, that can't be enough. And so funded with extra funds, a house for Waseni. And then later on, electricity was added. But so that there would be no jealousy in the area, electricity was given to several houses. And now, Waseni says her life is so much better. In fact, she says she's the happiest woman on earth. And she looks like it, doesn't she? I wonder if you can imagine your day consisting of a trip to this water hole. And this is where you get your water. And your big job of the day is to get enough water for your family. That's it. The water is filthy, it's laden with parasites and amoeba and bacteria. I can't imagine drinking this water, but for some people, this is simply the only option they have. World Vision exists to solve problems like this, to help people like this have fresh water so that the focus of their day is not just getting water and they can turn their attention to education or caring for their family. World Vision plants outposts in remote areas like this, eastern Ethiopia, where these people can have access to fresh water. World Vision drills deep wells, creates irrigation systems that literally change these people's lives. You and I take for granted the water that we have every day. It's all around us. But this young man has never seen what we see. But Jesus loves this young man. He knows the soul of this man. He has a dream for this young man. He wants this man to have water for the body, and he wants this young man to have water for the soul. And World Vision exists to provide both for these people. I decided to be a sponsor. You know, it was almost a no-brainer. I mean, to think that the amount of money that I spend on fast food in a week can literally change a person's life, it seemed like an easy decision to me. Mimi, that's a beautiful name.
Well, it's just great to be able to touch a child that you're going to get to sponsor.
Yeah. I want you to look into the faces of these beautiful children and this wonderful family. They deserve everything that we have. They deserve every opportunity to thrive physically, emotionally, and spiritually. You know, some people make the mistake and they think, since I can't fix everything, I won't do anything. But everybody can do something. Everybody can help a Mimi. There's not a person in the United States, there's not a person in the developed world who cannot help somebody like this. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Do not make the mistake of thinking, since I can't do everything, I won't do anything. That's the big mistake. You can do something. And in God's plan, when all of us do something, then something wonderful starts to happen.